Hey, welcome into another episode of the Seahawkers Show. This time it's the preview of the 6-1 Seahawks, your 6-1 Seahawks, versus the Buffalo Bills at 6-2 up in Orchard Park on a 68-degree Sunday afternoon game at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. But before I get into any of the breakdown and the preview and some video highlights of what the Bills do right and what they do wrong and what the Seahawks do right and what they do wrong and what they need to do, like and subscribe to this page. Please tell a friend. Please tell a Seahawk fan and give me your criticism, whether good or bad. I love to hear it. I need to learn. I'm new at this. So if you like what you see and you like what you enjoy, please tell me, let me know. It means a lot. Trust me. And the messages that I have been getting in comments, I do love. So business aside, this is a huge game. Buffalo Bills, Seattle Seahawks. Usually there'd be a 71,000 fans there. These are two similar type teams. A lot of people don't know, or maybe a lot of Seahawk fans, you're not familiar with Josh Allen if you just focus in on the Seahawks and don't really watch a lot of football around the league. But this guy is a runner, and he can take some hits. He doesn't go down like Russell Wilson does, so he likes to extend the plays as far as he can. However, he has a lot of Russell Wilson in him as far as he could throw on the run. He's very accurate, but he does make mistakes. Sometimes he forces the ball, unlike Wilson, and sometimes he gets stripped because he'll hold the ball a little too long, unlike Wilson as well. So we will get to what the strengths and the weaknesses are of both teams. I'm going to show you a little bit of highlights and kind of break things down, but let me give you a quick injury report. Chris Carson is questionable, but I doubt he will play. I heard Carlos Hyde the same. So we might see a steady diet of DJ Dallas again and Travis Homer possibly in this game. Also, Benson Mayowa is out. Shaquille Griffin is out. Ugo Amadi is out. And Mike Lapati, the guard, is out for the Seahawks. So those are four really good starters for the Seahawks. But keep in mind, we are getting Jamal Adams back this week. He's going to play. And then you got Carlos Dunlap, who came over from Cincinnati, by far moves into the first and best pass rush that we have besides Wagner and Adams. And then you couple that now, Buffalo's injury list is not too bad. They got TJ Yeldon, who's a backup running back. He's out definitely. Dawson Knox, a tight end. He's a decent tight end. So if he's out, but he's questionable, if he doesn't play, that's a bonus for Seattle because he is a go-to or a, what is it called, a last ditch receiver, like a safety blanket for Josh Allen. So if he's not in there, that's pretty good. But he's questionable. Vernon Butler, a defensive tackle, he's questionable. Cody Ford, offensive lineman, and Darryl Johnson, defensive end, all are questionable. In this game, the odds makers have the Seahawks at a 3-point favorite, even on the road, even against a 6-2 team. Seahawks have been very, look, a play here, a play there. They beat the Cardinals. They're 7-0. So that's how close this team is right now to be undefeated, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is going to be a big game, and Buffalo wants to keep pace with the Pittsburgh Steelers and other teams in the AFC, so they want this one, and they want it bad. It could be a statement game for either team. So let's break this one down, and I'm going to show you some Buffalo Bill highlights. I'm going to be heavy on the Bill highlights just to show you guys, because I know this is a team that we only play every 3 years. This isn't a team that we play often, so we don't really get to see this team. And again, they have not won anything since 1995. This division has been obviously just dominated by the Patriots, and they haven't won since 1995. So this is going to be the first year the Bills get over the hump since Jim Kelly days of the Buffalo Bills, and they can reestablish themselves at the top of the AFC East division. Look, they came off a victory against their nemesis, the Patriots, kind of put them in last place. The Seahawks came off a big victory against the 49ers. Their nemesis, Garoppolo and Kittle, pretty much ended their season. You saw how bad they are without all their starters prior, then losing Kittle and Garoppolo. The Packers destroyed the Niners. So that game against the Niners last week, coupled with the Packers beating them as well, pretty much screwed over the Niners. The Niners are going to finish last in that division as well. So kind of similar how the Bills and Seahawks took out their nemesis the last couple weeks. So let's break this game down. Here's a play right here. This is from a couple weeks ago. I'm going to show you 3 different games real quick, a few highlights from each one. This is Tannehill throwing a pass. Now, notice the Buffalo Bills right here have a 4-4 defense, safety creeping right here against the slot receiver. So it's basically one-on-one coverage. When you see this, and they're scared of Henry right here of the Titans, but Tannehill throws a ball just like Wilson on this particular play. Not all the time, but just on this play. It's one-on-one coverage to a receiver that looks a lot like Mr. Metcalf. And he'll make a catch a lot like Mr. Metcalf and run a route like Mr. Metcalf on one-on-one coverage.
Bill showing blitz from the near side. Poyer's picked up. The throw to the end zone is caught. Touchdown, Tennessee. A.J. Brown. On Diggs, who is down.
Now here's the Bills on offense.
The bottom of your screen with Beasley on 2nd down and 10. Passes complete to Diggs.
If the Seahawks decide to play zone like that, this is not a quarterback that will get antsy and want to go down the field. He will take what you give him. So that's the dangerous part of playing zone. You got to stick with your man. You got to stick with your assignment. And if you're not in the right place, the right time, he will pick you apart.
So 1st down up to the 36-yard line. Tyler Kraft, the tight end, in motion off the play fake. Now on the throw again. Zips it inside Titans territory.
Again, right there, the Titans came with a blitz, play-action pass. They were up on the run and the blitz, but it was picked up really good. Single coverage, that's all day. So with most quarterbacks can make that throw.
Again to Diggs.
And here's another play here, 3rd and 13.
Try to get Vic Beasley to jump at the bottom of your screen for the Titans. Allen rolling in the pocket, punts a couple of times, throws on the run, pass is complete on the.
Now that's what he can do. He can roll out, he can throw the football. He's not your pocket passer, and he's got a pretty accurate arm. Now he could be forced into some bad situations, yes, like any other quarterback. But right there, if the Titans didn't get home with a 4-man rush that looks a lot like the Seahawks, they're going to have problems all day. So the Seahawks, it's imperative that they get a good pass rush with Reed, who they picked up from the practice squad, former 49er, had a good game against his former team, or blitzing Adams or Wagner. They're going to have a combination of 1, 2, or both, or all 3, because they're going to have to get in there and force Josh Allen to some bad throws, because if not, that's going to be all day. I think with Diggs, rushing your safety isn't all that bad because Quandre Diggs is pretty good back there by himself, and Dunbar as well.
Run. 3 receivers to the left side, including Dawson Knox. That's Singletary in motion. Allen steps up in the pocket, trying to avoid the rush. He's tripped up inside the 25.
And see, that's why I mean. He knows where the 1st down marker's at, and he will take a hit. He could have slid down about 5 yards short, but he knew he had to evade. He's very slippery, dude. For a big guy, he's very slippery, and he can take a hit. So this is going to be a challenge for the Seahawks to keep this dude in the pocket.
And very close to a 1st down, depending on the spot. Titans showing pressure again. Beasley was in there. He flushes the pocket out. Allen throws on the run. Pass is complete on the run.
Now you see that? That's a Russell Wilson pass against his body. You're not supposed to be really throwing that accurate, running against your throwing arm, and he just got out of the pocket, bought himself a couple more seconds. And if he's able to do that, the Seahawks are in trouble. This isn't the Bills of old that just relied on the run. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Ron Roberts certainly has helped him on 1st down off the play fake. He rolls to the right, throws on the run, passes complete to Davis inside the 5-yard line.
Now he's got 2 primary receivers outside of Knox as his safety blanket as a tight end. He's got Singletary, the running back. He's got Diggs, which is is a very good receiver coming over from Minnesota. And you got Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's like his 3rd down blanket as well. And possession receiver, sort of like an Ingram from Seattle from years ago with Hasselbeck, Bobby Ingram. Beasley's a tough receiver, so that dude can take a hit. He goes over the middle. Bill's got some weapons. This is not going to be your easy game. This is not going to be a predictable game. This is going to be a tough one.
7-0 Titans on top. The snap goes to the right side.
And that's just a play right there on the reverse pass. That's just so hard to tackle unless you have someone that beats the defensive lineman or the offensive lineman on the right side or left side, wherever they decide to run that quick sweep pass. You're not going to get to the receiver. He's just going to get the outside because he's already coming in motion. That's a tough play to stop. So Seattle runs that as well with more, as we'll see later.
McKenzie runs in for the score. 1st down markers right at midfield. McKenzie's in motion. It's yelled into the backfield and Diggs wide open.
And that last play right there looks very familiar because he ran a play action pass sort of like Garoppolo does. So that's the thing that I think helps the Seahawks is that Josh Allen will make those kind of shotgun formation, fake to a tight end, fake to a receiver in motion, kind of twist his body around, and then throw down the field. Seattle's seen that before. So it's not like a team like the Titans that didn't see this too often, that they were picked apart. Now, they adjust later in the game, but in the early stages, you know, Allen's moving the football in this game.
Inside Tennessee territory. First down for the 46. Pressure's coming. Trying to get away from it.
But that's where Jamal Adams can come in right there. He play faked right there and then came around and got sacked because the linebacker came up the middle. If Seattle's able to run those stunts, much like they did against the Niners and against the Cardinals the previous week, they didn't get home against the Cardinals, but against the 49ers, they were able to get a couple key blitzes, hopefully with Dunlop creating some havoc. Maybe Snacks is in there, Snacks Harrison, who's coming off the practice squad as well, got from Detroit. The defense should look much better, much stronger this week, and then they're going to need to, because if you keep him in the pocket and you blitz, he will go down, just like any other quarterback.
Harold Landry, his first sack of the year. Second down at 21. We'll get a few back here with Davis, who lowers his shoulder to get to the 45-yard line. Malcolm Butler.
McKenzie going in motion. Giving Josh Allen an indicator whether it's zone or man.
Allen has some time. Throws across the field to Diggs, and he's got it for a first down.
If you don't get home, again, what did Allen do? He will throw. Look, that's an errant pass. Any coach will tell you, even in high school, don't throw back against the grain. Don't throw back across the field. And he was rolling to his left, should have went to the left, but the Titans had single coverage on there. Diggs came back to him, and that's just Diggs knowing his quarterback. Diggs respects Allen. That's going to be a key matchup on Sunday. Who plays on Diggs, and then can they shut him down? He's a tough receiver to stop. Seattle had trouble with him when he was in Minnesota. They're likely going to have trouble with him tomorrow in tomorrow's game. However, again, he was able to buy time on a 5-man rush, and you're not supposed to have that much time, and he found it. But he does make errant passes at times if you get in and put people in his face. So, again, this game is, I think, for me, again, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush.
Jonathan Joseph was in on the cover.
Tom McCarthy.
That is a huge move by the Jets.
See right there.
Malcolm Butler. It wasn't deflected this time. He picked it right out of the air. He's still on his feet. How about that? Got his hand to the ground to brace himself along the sidelines. And he's inside the...
Now, I hate showing Malcolm Butler, obviously. As a Seahawks fan, you know about that guy. Can't stand the dude. One of the most luckiest picks ever in football history. Anyway, the fact is, on that play, they put pressure in Allen's face. It was a zone coverage, much like the Seahawks play. And he was sitting in the zone, and Allen threw it right to him because why? The offensive lineman was being pushed into his face. The defensive tackle or defensive end wasn't close to making the sack. He just had good pressure and penetration, and really Allen didn't go back far enough to look downfield, and he kind of just was like, chuck it, because he thought the receiver was where he's supposed to be, and he didn't see Malcolm Butler just sitting in the zone. So that's the advantage of the zone when it works. When you get, even if the pass rush does not get home, if they close the gap enough to make the quarterback have happy feet or just be unsure or unsure of where he's at, he could make a forced error like that. So that's all I'm saying. Seattle can close the gap on Allen, keep him in the pocket, and make him dance around a little bit. He's susceptible to a lot of turnovers. Now here's another week against the Chiefs. The Chiefs ran it down their throat and picked them apart.
The Bills, if they can continue to get that kind of pressure, that'll serve them well.
3rd down and 2. Williams carries for a first down and plenty more.
And the Bills do have a very good defense. Don't get me wrong, but they are susceptible to the run. And the Chiefs don't have a magical offensive line that's tearing everybody apart. Yes, they have good running backs, and yes, they have great receivers, and yes, they have Mahomes, but their offensive line isn't like popular all-pro players. They're just not. But what they do is they open up gaps, and the Seahawks can do the same things. Now, they don't have Carson to get past that first hit and get into the second level, and they may not have Hyde to do the same thing. But I'm sure DJ Dallas, who did get some good yards, average at best against the Niners, did his job. I think he can make runs like this.
Come on. I don't know how you stop it.
And they don't have to overplay this guy, Edwards-Helaire. Man, he is a good-looking rookie down.
This is not even a fair fight right now.
Bad news for the Bills. That had been a strength underneath. Hill forced.
And I could picture this play right here working. Seahawks bring the running back over here, whether it's Homer or whether it's DJ Dallas, so lined up down here, and then you have a tight end like Disley, or you even have Metcalf, someone like that on the corner where Kelsey's at, and this is just a out pattern to the back of the end zone, and Wilson can make this throw in his sleep.
Left guard next to the new center, Daniel Kilgore. Schwartz is still out at right tackle, where Remmers is. End zone, Kelsey.
Wow.
And a touchdown.
Wow.
How about the athletic ability? First of all, the throw, but 6'5".
Now here's against the Jets, and this is what the Bills can do correctly on offense. Now watch what the Jets do, but this is what I'm scared of, because again, if Allen is able to run, which he usually does in most of these football games that the Bills have played, if you look up the stat sheets, Josh Allen usually rushes for about 50, 60 yards. So he is a quarterback that's very underrated as far as running. And that'll open things up for his running back, Singletary, and for the receivers on play action. And if you don't, I mean, he could do stuff like this.
Allen throwing this side of the field and almost picked off.
Actually, that was the wrong play. Yeah, that's again, the offensive line was pushed into his face, and he was not able to see over the offensive line and didn't see the corner playing zone. That was almost an interception. So that's what the Seahawks can feast off of. They can build up a couple turnovers that'll help them out. My bad. Here's what I meant.
Allen on the move. Going to tuck it and run. 25, 30, and out of bounds short of the 35-yard line.
Now you see where he could have just went down 3 yards short of the first. He juked out the linebacker and got 7 more yards. He can do that. He's got moves.
To this side of the field. That is complete.
And that's Beasley.
And Beasley finds running room and is out of bounds short of midfield. 2nd and 10. Allen on the move and going to run it. Inside the 30, 25, and down short.
Now there he went down, but again, he got more than he should have gotten on that one, like 20, 25 yards. That's crazy. That's what he could do. If the Jets were playing a defense and there was no one open, he just takes off. And they do have – the problem with him is you don't think of him as a direct snap type, I'm going to take the ball. He is. So you're going to have to really watch this quarterback.
20-yard line.
If you're Seattle.
Allen complete to the 15-yard line, and that
And again, give him time. He's going to pick you apart.
is tight end Reggie Gilliam. 3rd and goal.
Now, here's what you could do also, though, to mix things up. This is a lost opportunity by the Bills right here against the Jets. The Jets come in with a good pass rush, and he does fumble the football. So he reminds me of Kirk Cousins when he holds onto the ball. He's not aware when he's about ready to take a hit in the pocket. Now, when he gets outside the pocket, he protects the ball rather well. But in the pocket, he's kind of loose with it, and this can happen, and this could benefit the Seahawks.
Allen lost the ball and covered by the Jet. Down.
Now, here's how you can exploit him a bit.
Darnold on the move, being chased, and the pass is incomplete.
On a play action, but that didn't work.
Here comes the blitz. Darnold eludes one, can't elude another, lost the football.
Actually, let me go back on that one. I actually put the wrong one. See, I've done that twice in this video. So basically right here, the Bills came in. Let me rewind that one if I can real quick here. Sorry about that. So the reason why I showed you that is they didn't fall for the play action pass. The tight end took a nasty hit right there. Then the next play, the Bills are going to run a blitz. They're going to fake like they're blitzing up the middle. They're actually going to come from the corner side, sort of what the Seahawks have done with Reed and also Jamal Adams, force the quarterback into the pocket, and then they strip them. And they almost got a turnover, should have got a sack. This is what the Seahawks got to do to the Bills. The Bills turn this over onto the Jets. So just to let you know, the Bills kind of run the same kind of defense the Seahawks do.
Here comes the blitz. Darnold eludes one, can't elude another, lost the football.
Pressure on that Jet secondary.
Allen throwing to this side, and that is complete and out of bounds. It's down for Buffalo now at the New York 46-yard line.
And the Seahawks run this play too, where they fake it to the running back, throw over here, wide receiver screen. This is Beasley right here, getting some good yards. Diggs is a good blocker too.
Beasley and Beasley.
This is work where everybody's sick.
And they're going to keep moving the football.
And he's able to see the birth of his child and also play on Sunday.
And that's Singletary.
Moss, and look at
I
the
mean Moss.
room he has on the left side, 15-yard line and bumped out of bounds.
And if you watch that defensive setup right there, what happened was they were anticipating a play action. So when the fullback came up and made the initial block, it was just wide open because the defense was not committed to running to the left side because they weren't believing it was going to be a straight handoff. The Bills run a lot of play action from the stretch. So that stretch play worked really good for the Buffalo Bills and got a big lead. Now here's what Seattle needs to do against, well, what they shouldn't do against the Bills. Obviously, the running game's hampered without Carson and Hyde. If they're both not playing, okay, there's a chance. But as far as today, Carson is out from what I heard. Same thing with Hyde, like I said earlier. But if they're able to play in this game, here's DJ Dallas. Seattle's really got to get into momentum before they start falling in love with this play or doing it a lot, because in this situation, 2nd and 15 already, this is against the 49ers, and you're going to run a play like this, Wilson's got to be better at either keeping the ball or just audibling out of it, because this play went nowhere. And if Seattle gets stuck doing this early on in the game, falling behind, it changes up the mindset of the game. So Seahawks really got to get like I showed you against Edwards-Helaire, did it against the Bills. Those running plays, they need to make these blocks, because if this happens against the Bills, Seahawks are in trouble.
On a 2nd and 15. Nowhere to go.
Right there, Wilson missed the blitz from the left side, and that's why he just ran right into the freaking defender and went nowhere for like a 2-yard loss. That cannot happen. You gotta pick up on the blitz and shift a blocker over there or audible out of the play.
Goes backwards. That's Ayuk in motion. Garoppolo.
And on the play action, you got to watch this. See, even though they picked it up, this was still open over the middle.
Rose and caught.
He's had that injury, that high ankle
And then the Bills will run this play too.
sprain, and he struggled throwing the deeper balls.
It's Coleman.
Got to make that first tackle.
Coleman with a first down going.
That first tackle is always key. Now here's what the Seahawks can do against the Bills. The Niners, obviously, their defense is a lot weaker than the Bills. But the Bills play this type of defense as well, and they'll show you different looks, different exotic looks on defense. You got to be able to pick them apart, and this is a play right here where the Bills or the Niners actually picked up the receivers, and there was nothing open. And the rarely used tight end, which was used for the first time, or not tight end, fullback, actually made a catch on a key 3rd down on the drive where the Seahawks got a touchdown.
It does not have a catch so far.
And he was like option 8 on this play.
On 3rd down, dumps it off. That's Nick Ballore. And looks like he's got enough to the 25.
This right here is a nice little play action pass, roll out, and catch. This is all day, and I suspect either Lockett or Metcalf, the way it's been trending, are going to have a big day.
Russell
One of the two.
Pass complete at the 36. Tackle made.
See, if Seattle does that and moves the football, that's going to frustrate the hell out of the Bills. And much like what happened with the Niners or a couple games before that where the Seahawks played other opponents, they get frustrated by the dinks and dunks or the first downs constantly or whatever. They start to press and start to blitz. That's where Wilson picks up and identifies, runs the seam route, and then they have a long touchdown or a long pass. So that's what's going to happen in this game. I say eat him alive with a picking apart 5 yards, see if they can get, the yards after the catch, get the first down, keep annoying that defense, and at some point it's going to open up down the field.
Right away.
And then this play right here.
From his receiver spot across midfield.
I've loved that play all season. I'm sure if you've seen all the Seahawks games like I have, David Moore is a hell of a running running back when he turns, instead of a receiver, he turns into a running back on those sweeps, and it usually works for a first down every time. So I'm for it. I want to see that at least once or twice in the game. They ran it twice last time against the Niners, so we'll see what happens. And then here's what the Seahawks do best.
A crisp-looking drive here, and open inside the 35. Metcalf all the way inside the 20. DK Metcalf, and that's going to be a Seahawk touchdown. Wow.
That guy's just hard to stop. Now here's shotgun formation, crisp pass on comebacks. These timing routes are going to be key against the Bills.
He's got that baseball player mentality. Slide when I have to.
Big hole in the middle of the field to run. Instead, he throws and completes at the 48. Metcalf coming back to the football. Blitz on a delay. Floating one down the sideline for Metcalf, who has it.
A comeback and then just a beautiful lob. That's just the timing route.
Metcalf on the edge in a one-on-one situation up top here.
Wilson has it for the end zone, and there's a flag, but DK
that guy's
Metcalf
unstoppable.
has the football and has
And here's what Seattle's got to do against Josh Allen. Like I said earlier, showed you a couple plays with the Jets. This is Garoppolo's last play of the season, and this is what happens. Right here, as you see, here's Reed, number 29. He's going to blitz from the outside, force him inside, then they're going to make the tackle on Garoppolo as he tries to avoid the sack. But if you're able to put defenders in his face 2 to 3 seconds off the snap, he's going to have a hard time, Josh Allen, scrambler or not, and he might make an errant throw, he might fumble the football, or he might just take a sack like Garoppolo did right here.
Garoppolo stopped short of the 30-yard.
Because a good thing about that is when you're getting pressured from the left side like that, and or right side, however, and you have to tuck the ball down to initially get away from the defender, and you try to move up, you're now the line can either guys who weren't close to you as you're trying to avoid the guys in the backfield that blitzed. As you move up, you could be running right into a defender, and then boom goes the dynamite. You get sacked, or you just run into your own offensive lineman, and as you try to break away, it gives times for the guys that were chasing you from behind that you eluded to catch up and get you. So, with that being said, again, blitz, blitz, blitz. Force Allen to beat you with the arm. I'd rather put guys in his face all day, make him uncomfortable, than just let him sit back there and pick us apart. So that is the game. Seahawks at Buffalo. What is my prediction and final score, and what do I think so far? This game is going to be great. I think it's going to be a 24-21 Seahawks victory. I'm going to go with the odds makers on this one. They're giving the Seahawks 3-point favorites. I think they win 7 and go to 7-1. But I do want to say something with caution on this game. I could also see the Buffalo Bills winning this game. My official prediction is the Seahawks getting the victory, but it would not shock me one bit if the Bills get a narrow victory against us. And in a way, it would hurt because most likely the Cardinals would win their upcoming game and go to 6-2 as well and be tied with us. And then you'd have to worry about what the Rams do because they're still a game and a half behind. But that being said, it wouldn't be the end of the world because you've already eliminated one team, the Niners. And then we got upcoming games with the Cardinals to try to get back at them. And we still have 2 games with the Rams, which I feel we're going to win both of those games. But this game is huge because if you can win, if the Seahawks do win, the easier parts of the schedule have already came for the Rams and have already came for the Cardinals. They're going to start playing some tougher teams as we move along here. And the Seahawks actually have the opposite coming. They have a really easy schedule coming up after the next couple games. So there's where you can separate yourself. So a game like this one, you get a victory to keep pace with these other teams. You could then go ahead and put things away in late December. So let's go Hawks. Hopefully we get a 24-21 win. And thank you for watching and sticking around. And hopefully my analysis you enjoyed. So with all that being said, this is Todd Fox from the Seahawker Show. Go Hawks. Let's do this, baby. Let's beat the Bills.